Okay. Hide. Let's go like this, this, this. Come on. This. Come on. This. This. And there we go. All right. What we're going to be doing is looking at logarithmic functions of graphs and natural log functions of graphs. So if I turn my graphing calculator on, go y equals, clear out what's there, and I'm just going to graph basically the log of x. Clear that. And I'm going to go zoom 6 so it's in my normal 10 by 10 window. And what does it look like? Well, the normal log graph looks like this. Zoom like that. Okay? That's the log graph, the log of x. Whoa. I don't know what just happened. So this is the log of x. Looks like that. Everybody trust me. We're good with that. Now we're going to look at these graphs. Okay? And these functions. Okay? So, the log of x plus 4 is the first one I want to look at. Okay? X plus 4 is the same as this, except for we move it 4 to the left. 4 to the left would be that one. So this is the log of x plus 4. Now, 4 minus x is the same as the log of negative x plus 4. Negative x plus 4. That's important that we switch this around so you can understand the logic of what's going on here. Okay. So, what does a negative x do? Flips it over the y-axis. Okay. Flips it over the the y-axis. Okay. And then, so if we flip it over the y-axis, the normal would then, if we flip it over the y-axis, it would then look like that. And then plus 4 or does it flip it over the, okay, let's look at it. I want to look at this.
I don't think it would work even if it flipped over the x-axis.
Yeah, it flips over the y-axis. And then plus 4. Well, that's interesting. So, while log of negative x plus 4 then actually moves this 4 to the right, which is this one. It must flip it after we move it. It must move it 4 to the left first and then flip it, which you'd think, well, that's totally backwards because you should do the multiplication, the flipping first, and then moving it 4 to the right. But when it's in parentheses, you must have to do everything backwards. So you must have to slide it 4 first and then flip it. Okay, so this slides 4 first this way to be like that. Then if you flip it around the y-axis, it goes to that, which is this one. Learn something new every day. Okay, the ln of x graph. Let's look at the ln of x graph. Clear. We're just going to look at the plain ln of x graph. ln of x graph. So the normal ln of x graph would look like this. Okay, but this is negative ln of x, which means we flip it over the x-axis, and then plus 2, we move it 2 to the right. Well, if we flip this over the x-axis, it'll look like this. 2 to the right would make it look like this. Okay? And then negative ln of x, 5 minus x. Okay, you flip it, you take in the normal ln of x, looks like this. So then you flip it over the x-axis, and it looks like this. And then 5 minus x means you move it to the left 5, and then, so it looks like this. And then you flip it around the minus x, you flip it around the y-axis. So if you flip it around, it would, I don't know, let's go with yet another color, look like that, which is this one. Okay. Now, if you just type them all into your graphing calculators, you'll figure out the answer right away, but that's not thinking through it. You should think through this a little bit too. Okay. All right. The ln of negative x plus 1. So the ln of x, and the graphing the Math Excel will graph this for you. Okay, it'll graph it for you. So the ln of x looks like this, something like that. So the ln of negative x. Oh my!
You have to say cheese with it, though.
This was our first attempt.
Oh, all right. I need a picture of that too. Sorry.
It's
All
so
right.
good.
Not cool again.
And then you gotta taste it too, because you have to see if the printing tastes all right.
I'm sure it'll taste all right, but here, take a picture of me with it.
You want some of this one inside?
Maybe.
I mean, I'll take it if you don't.
Yeah.
It needs to be
We'll
a
take
shot
it.
copy.
I don't want to cut off my head.
You good?
I'm not going to die. No, it's
good.
good.
Okay,
No,
good.
it's good. Thank
You're
you.
Your 9 lives.
You're welcome. Yeah, this one was a little off-centered, so we had to redo it again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So whose class was it? Brooks's?
Yeah, culinary 3. We just got a printing one, so we made the cookies yesterday, and then we're
Okay.
gonna wait for them to set.
Mm-hmm. Why, thank you. All right. Mine will be the biggest sellers, probably.
I would buy one of those.
Why, thank you. All right. So the negative on the inside flips it around which axis? The y-axis. So then it would go like that, and then you'd move it up by 1. On Math Excel, they kind of have the little help me graph this one thing on there, and it'll help you graph this one pretty easily. All right. So here, the help me graph this will graph it. It'll go like this and then up 8. So then you have to figure out which of these we check down here. Well, the minus x flips it across the y-axis. So you find the reflect the graph across the y-axis, which is D. The plus 8 will do what? Translate the graph up by 8 units. There. So it's just C and D for this one. Okay? So you'll have several problems where you have to figure out what you do. Okay? So on this one, the ln, and it'd be so great if we could factor out a -1 here. But this one is the ln, and then So you move it 9 to the right, and then you flip it over the y-axis. So I want to see which ones they exactly picked there here, just to make sure we are doing it right. So it's there. Translate the graph left, flip it over the y-axis. Yep. So we were right. You guys are so smart. Now I covered up that piece of paper with another piece of paper. No. So translate the graph to the right by 9 units. Then you reflect it over the y-axis. What? I thought it was right.
So
Okay.
I think it's just flipping it and then translating it in the wrong direction.
Translate it left by 9, reflected across the y-axis. So this is what they did. And I don't know what is going on with my computer right now. So the right way to do this is to factor out a -1 and then go 9 plus x, which is x plus 9. So factor out a -1, x plus 9. So factor out the -1, which this one translates it to the left 9. So translates it to the left 9. I don't even see translates to the left. There it is. F. And this one flips it around the y-axis. So maybe if we go back up here and we rethink about this one once. Not that one. Oh yeah, that one. So if we had 4 minus x, maybe if I redo this and go the log, and I'm in a different color, so nice, -1 times x plus 4. -1 times x minus 4. If we take out the -1, so then that would move it to the right by 4, and then flip it over the y-axis is what we did. Yeah, okay. Thinking out loud. All right, this one, much easier. What's the only thing we do here? Move it down by 1. Take the log and move it down by 1. This one, woo, lots going on. So this would be rewritten as 3 log of -1 times x minus 5 minus 4. Okay? So I take the original log function, translate it to the right by 5, right by 5, translate it right by 5. Then this flips it over the y-axis. Then this stretches it in the y direction, stretches vertically by a factor of 3. And then this one moves it 4 down. So those 4 things you do. Okay? And then you'll answer the last 2. So I'll let you get going on this assignment.